all remember this face, the ding ding sound. Well, that's just my part-time job. Let me tell you what I do. Now, this conversation will start off at a budget, right? In Uganda, in the 10 minutes I'm talking to you right now, 100 trees are going to be cut down. Yesterday, Limbi Tata talked about deforestation at a global level and also talked about deforestation in her community. Let me tell you what deforestation is doing to my community. Now, for Uganda as an agricultural state, deforestation means less rain. And with less rain, we have less agricultural productivity. So, we have very high unemployment because youth who would have actually worked in the agriculture sector are now living jobless without any income. So, let me paint a picture of what is happening now. Youth are moving into urban areas and settling in slums for where they have no hope. That's just the first part. Now, others go to an extreme level of moving into other nations in the Middle East. And every month, we hear reports of them dying over poor working conditions and other atrocities like torture. Now, let me bring you back to the trees themselves. We have understood how important these trees are to the economy of Uganda, but they are still being cut. Now, unlike India, where LPG gas is subsidized, 94% of the Ugandans are still cooking using firewood and charcoal. It is common around many of the developing countries, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. But, ladies, gentlemen, and others, this is causing 3.5 million trees to be cut down in Uganda. And 80% of these trees are going into cooking in institutional kitchens like schools, universities, and businesses like hotels and restaurants that are making tons of money at the expense of an environment, the expense of that farmer, and the expense of the youth and women. Now, enough with the sadness. What if I told you, boldly, I have a social enterprise model that not only solves our deforestation problem, but also provides a cleaner, a much more sustainable cooking energy? What if I boldly told you that this same solution can provide a decent livelihood for the youth and women affected by this deforestation? Sounds a little bit too good to be true. But before I came to Kanthari, I had started Way Clean Energy Company, a company that bought agricultural waste from farmers and transformed it into this affordable and clean cooking energy known as a charcoal briquette. We proved this model locally and internationally because, let me tell you, last year we won the IF Social Impact Prize, and this year we won the 2018 Greenpreneurs Achievement Award. But wait a minute. It's not just good to prove that this works, right? In a country that is remaining with 8% of its forest cover, I repeat, 8% of its forest cover. This solution needs to be scaled at a much faster rate to counter the increasing demand of firewood. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not yet happy. Now, what I came to do in Kanthari, I developed an NGO model, a non-profit model, that will be able to scale this very solution. Let me demonstrate to you in a chart but before I go to that chart, Let me introduce an organization known as Eco Rehab Africa. So what we're going to do in that chart is create an ecosystem, a sustainable ecosystem. Our organization will identify one singular community, and in that community, we shall identify 3 key players: the youth and women, the farmers, and institutions. So the first step is to train the youth and women in 4 simple things. 1, where and how to identify agricultural waste. How to turn this agricultural waste into charcoal briquettes. How to market and sell these charcoal briquettes. And finally, how to fundraise for sustainability. The next step, these beneficiaries will acquire their raw materials from farmers in their same community. What happens is that in a village like Luwero, we have farmers that generate up to 6 tons of agricultural waste upon harvest. And with this, they can earn over $30 of extra income from something they never even considered useful. So once we secure this material, we move to the production. The production is in 5 simple steps. 1, carbonization. That is partial burning of agricultural waste into just a carbon, not ash, just a carbon. We crush this carbon, mix it with a binder, compress it, and dry it, and it's ready to use for cooking. So this process, from the time of collecting raw material to selling of these briquettes, can employ up to 20 youth with a potential to earn over $100 a month, which, by the way, is 3 times more than the government minimum monthly wage. Surprising. Well, the next step is to make sure that these beneficiaries can actually earn that money. And Eco Rehab will take it upon ourselves to provide free conversion of wood-burning stoves to charcoal briquette stoves in institutions like schools, universities, prisons, in the same community. And in exchange for that, these institutions will sign a 5-year contract with our beneficiaries to supply them their charcoal briquettes. With this, like I told you, the institution will be saving 35% on its annual cost. That's an advantage for them. But for our beneficiaries, a secure, reliable market. For Eco Rehab Africa, we shall have achieved 1 step towards reducing the high demand for firewood that is affecting our forests. So ladies and gentlemen, and others, let me show you in a video how we collect these materials, turn them into charcoal briquettes, and then use them. That video has demonstrated an institution that is cooking 3 meals a day for boarding students, over 1,000 students. So therefore, in Uganda, whatever quantity you're cooking, you can still cook it without cutting a tree. So when we reduce the demand for firewood, we shall fight deforestation. And with this, we'll give way to reforestation of over 20% of our forests. Our bold goal is in the next 5 years, we shall be able to reduce deforestation by 40%. It's a really bold move. But I believe, ladies and gentlemen, with you, with me, and our beneficiaries, we can achieve this. And in the next 10 minutes, 5 years from now, within 10 minutes bracket, we can be able to replant 500 trees. I believe this. And I know you believe this. Thank you very much.